Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome to Sew with Mediva. And if you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you for sticking to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make this gathered palazzo pants with side pockets. And I achieved this style using 3.5 yards of African print fabric. If this is something you are interested in, make sure to keep watching and make sure you watch till the end so I don't miss out on any detail. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. So for mine, I made use of 3.5 yards of this beautiful African print fabric. So you can also make use of your crepe fabric for this style. It is going to come out very beautiful, and you'll be doing about 2.5 to 3 yards depending on the size of the person. So we're starting with the front part of this pant. So let's go ahead to fold the fabric. So we're going to start with the front panel of this pant, and I'm gonna head to cut out my fabric. So this fabric is in a fold of 2. It's in a fold of 2 as you can see. So to get the wideness of fabric to fold, the first thing you're going to do is to measure around your hip. Take your round hip measurement and then divide it by 2. So let me turn the fabric this way so that you guys can understand better. So this fabric now is in a fold of 2 and it is just for the front panel alone. So to get the wideness of fabric to fold, go ahead to divide your round hip measurement by 2. So mine is 23 inches after dividing by 2. So I have 23 inches here already, and I added 3 extra inches to it for the crotch extension. So to get your crotch extension, you're going to divide your round hip measurement again by 4. So whatever you got, divide that measurement again by 4. So for mine, I usually get about 2.9 something, but I just approximated it to 3 inches. So I added that 3 inches to the 23 inches. So I have 26 inches wide fabric in a fold of 2. So one side is going to be 26 inches, the other side is also going to be 26 inches. I hope you guys understand. So I'll just extend the line up this way. But if you don't want yours as full as mine, you can just reduce the amount of fabric you are folding. I hope you understand. So maybe instead of 26 inches, you can fold 20 inches so that your gathers will not be as full as mine. I hope you understand. So the first thing to do is to mark the starting line at the upper part of the fabric this way, which is going to serve as the waistline, where we'll take all the vertical measurements from. So I'm going to have a band of 2 inches at the upper part of my pants. So I'm going to place my tape rule 2 inches above the starting line and just mark the full length of this pant. So the full length of my pants is 43 inches, and I'm going to add 1 extra inch to it for the folding allowance. So I marked 44 inches all the way down this way. So let me clean up this line I marked earlier so that I don't confuse you guys, and then I'll just extend that 3 inches mark all the way down. So after doing that, the next thing now is to mark the crotch depth. So to get your crotch depth, you're going to divide your round hip measurement by 4 and then add 1 inch to 1.5 inches depending on how free you want the crotch area to be. So I'm going to place my tape rule 2 inches above the starting line again to mark the crotch depth. So my crotch depth is going to be my round hip measurements divided by 4, which is 11.5 inches, and I'm going to add 1.5 inches to it to make up 13 inches because the pant is a free pant and you don't want that crotch area tight. So the next thing to do now is to take the curve, the crotch curve. So from this line, just go ahead to form a curve this way for your crotch extension. So just the way we draw out our normal pant. So this is basically all for this front part. Let's go ahead now to cut it out. So let's go ahead to cut it out. Then I'll take the crotch extension, the crotch curve. After cutting out, you're going to have one side closed, so go ahead to open it up. So when you open up, you're going to have 2 pieces of the front panel. So you can see how wide each of the sides look. So we're going to use the excess to form gathers while we are attaching it to the waistband. So this is the other side. So we're basically done with the front panel of this pant. So I'm going to use these front panels now to cut out the back. So let's go ahead to do that. So for the back panel, I've gone ahead to cut out the fabric, and it is also in a fold of 2. So I place the front panel on the back panel this way, making sure I have some space at the upper part and I have some space towards this crotch extension area. So for the back crotch extension, I added 1 inch to the 3 inches that I used in front. So to get your back crotch extension, just add 1 inch to whatever you used for your front crotch extension. So my fabric is 4 inches wider than the front, as you can see. Let me just go ahead to mark it out. And then I'll come up to around the hip line and come out by 2.5 inches. Small size can do 2 inches or 1.5 inches. And then on the upper part, I came up by 2 inches. I have extra 2 inches of fabric there. So if you're on the small side, you can do 1 inch or 1.5 inches. But for mine, I made use of 2 inches. So the waistline of the back is usually higher than the front to accommodate the butt. So from that 2 inches mark now, I'm going to extend it all the way to meet that hip line. And then further extend it to meet the crotch extension. So after that, I'll just come in by 2 inches from the front panel all the way down. So connect it to the crotch this way. And then come down by 2 inches all the way down. So that 2 inches is going to be for your seam allowance. After marking the 2 inches, connect all the points together all the way down. So make sure to use your ruler to do this so that you can have a very straight line. So connect it all the way down to the full length of your pants this way. After doing that, this is what we have. So we're going to have a zipper at the back of this pant. So I'm going to place the zipper allowance now for you guys to see. So come over to the waistline. From the waistline, I will just come in by 1.5 inches. All the way to the point where you want the zipper to stop. So I came down by 10 inches for mine, and then I connected the points together. So before we cut it out, the last and final thing to do is to connect this waistline all the way to meet the side of your pant. So use your ruler to do this. Just connect the line, forming a slant this way. So this is basically all for the back part of this pant. Let's go ahead now to cut it out. So let's go ahead now to cut it out. So I'll cut this crotch area and cut out the zipper allowance. So I'll remove the front panel from it now and then cut out all the way to the crotch. So after cutting, the side is still going to be closed, so go ahead to open it up. So after opening up, you're going to have 2 pieces of the back panel. And this is what the zipper allowance looks like. So when you take it in, it is going to appear this way. It's still going to come out this way like the front. So we successfully cut out the front and the back. Now let's go ahead to start joining the fabrics together. So before we start joining the fabrics together, we're going to work on the pocket, and we're going to be using a simple inseam pocket for this pant. So I'll go ahead to cut out the fabric for the pocket and show you guys the next thing to do. So I've gone ahead to cut out the fabric we're going to use for the pocket, and I have 4 pieces. So the dimension of the fabric I have here, for the wideness I have 8 inches, and for the depth I have 11 inches. So we're going to be making use of a simple inseam pocket, and I'm going to show you guys how to go about it now. So we're going to attach 2 to the front and 2 to the back. So I'll come over to one side of my pant. Remember, we have 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. So I'll come over to the side of one of the piece and then come down by 1 inch. I'll come down by 1 inch, and then I'll place the fabric of my pocket on its right sides facing each other, and then I'll go ahead to stitch it down. So after doing that, I'll come over to the other side, the other fabric, and then I'll come down again by 1 inch. I'll place the fabric pockets right sides facing each other. You can use your pins to hold it down first, and then go ahead to stitch it together. Stitch it all the way down together. So after doing that for the front, I'll get the back panel fabrics as well, and I'll repeat the same thing. Come down by 1 inch and then go ahead to insert your pocket. So when I'm done doing all of that, I'll show you guys the next thing to do. So after I stitch down the pocket fabric to the front panel and the back, this is what it looks like on one side. So you're going to top stitch on the pocket just to make it firm when you are done with your pants. So stop stitch on it before we start joining together. So right now we're going to join the crotch areas together. So these are the front panels and I'm placing them right sides facing each other. After that, I'm going to use half an inch to close up the crotch areas together this way. When I'm done, I'll repeat the same process for the back. This is the pocket on the sides of the back, and then I'll top stitch on it just like I explained. After top stitching, I'm going to place the two back panels on each other. So I'll go ahead to close up the crotch area all the way up to the zipper allowance this way. So when I'm done closing up the crotch areas, I'll show you guys the next thing to do. So after closing up the crotch area for the front, this is what it looks like. And for the back, this is what we have. So this is the zipper opening. This is where the zipper is going to be attached. So the next thing we want to do is to cut out the waistband for this pant. So to get the length of the waistband, go ahead to measure your round waist measurement. So mine is 36 inches and I'm going to divide it by 2, which is 18 inches. So for the front panel, I'm going to need 1 inch on both sides of the waistband because of the joining allowance. So I'll be cutting out a fabric that is 20 inches wide for the front panel, and to the back I'll add the 3 inches extra for zipper allowance, making 23. So I'm cutting out 2 bands now, one for the front and one for the back, which is 20 inches wide and 23 inches wide. So I've cut out the waistband for the front panel and for the back panel, and this is what we have. So the wideness of the front panel is 20 inches as you can see, and for the back I have 23 inches. So the 2 bands are in a fold of 2 as you can see. So let me take you guys back again to how we got this measurement. So the first thing is to measure around your waist. My round waist is 36 inches. Divided by 2, I got 18 inches, and I added 2 extra inches to it because of the seam allowance on both sides. 1 inch seam allowance on both sides. And for the back, and remember we're going to have a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches on both sides of the fabric, so I added 3 extra inches to the 20 inches I used for the front, which is 23 inches. And the wideness of the band is 2 inches. I cut out a fabric that is 5 inches wide. I ironed in half an inch on both sides, and then when you fold it into 2, you're going to be left with the 2 inches band that we want. And don't forget to iron your ear stay or your gum stay to the fabric for stability. The next thing to do now is to attach this band to the pant. So to attach the band, I'll show you guys how to do it with the front panel. So this is the front panel, and the center point where we join the crotch area is the midpoint of the pant. So I'm going to fold my band into 2 and just mark the midpoint. I'll use my chalk to mark the midpoint on the opened angle of the band. So mark it on both sides. So I'll flip my pant now to the wrong side. So this is the wrong side, and then I'll merge that center point. I'll open up my band this way, open up that half an inch seam allowance and merge it up to the center point of your pants. Use your pin to hold it down, and then I'll take the edge of the band and also merge it up to the edge, to the side of the pants this way. Open up the half an inch and use your pin to hold it down, and I'll do the same thing for the other side this way. So because I don't want the crotch area of my pants to be bulky, I'm going to come from the center point. I'm going to take 4 inches, which is like my dart measurement, divided by 2. So I'll mark 4 inches on this side, and I'll also mark 4 inches on the other side. I don't want that crotch area to appear to have the gathered effects. I hope you guys understand. So I'll go ahead to use my pin to hold down the band again all the way to that 4 inches mark this way. I'll hold it up. So this particular area, I'm not going to do any gathers. I'm going to just stitch it straight all the way to that point. I'll stitch it straight. So the remaining fabric that is now left, I'm going to gather it into the waistband as I am stitching. So go ahead to fit that fabric into the waistline of your band this way. So just fit whatever fabric you have left. So if you use less amount of fabric, your gathers is not going to be as full as mine. I hope you guys understand. So after stitching down, I'm going to use the band to cover it up on the right side, but I'll show you guys how to do that. Let me go ahead to do this, and then I'll show you guys. So after inserting the waistband into the front part of the pants, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to close up the band on it this way to the right side, and then I'll go ahead to stitch it down all the way to the edge. You just use a matching thread and stitch it down. So we're done with the front part. Let's move over to the back. So for the back, I'm going to divide the waistband into 2 equal parts. So we're going to fix the bands individually on both sides. So divide it into 2. Go ahead to fold it this way and divide it into 2. So 1 band for this side and 1 for the other side. So we're going to use the same method we used for the front, but the difference is that I'm going to do a straight stitch only on the zipper allowance of 1.5 inches and gather the remaining part of the fabric. So place your band on the wrong side of your pants this way. So I'm going to stitch that zipper allowance straight of 1.5 inches, and when I'm done, I'm going to gather the remaining part of the fabric into the waistband this way. So the back gathers is going to look fuller than the front. So gather the remaining part into it this way. When I'm done, I'll repeat the same thing for the other side. Right side of the band facing the wrong side of my pants. I'll use my pin to hold it down. I'll also do the same thing for this side and then gather it into the waistband. So just gather your fabric as you are stitching, or you can use your pins to form your pleats or gathers before you stitch. So when I'm done, I'll show you guys. So after I closed up the band in front, this is what it looks like. So you can see that the crotch area does not have any gathers, and for the back I already did the same thing to the back panel. I have created the gather and I've closed up the band also. So the next thing we want to do is to join the front and the back panels together. So I'm going to place them on each other, right sides facing each other this way. I'm going to merge the sides, merge the pocket fabrics together, and then using my 1 inch seam allowance, I'm going to start from the waistline and join it all the way. When I get to the pocket area, I'll raise my footer up, turn it, close up the pocket till I get to this other side. I'll raise my footer up again, turn the fabric, and then stitch it all the way down to the full length on the sides. Stitch it down. When I'm done with that, I'll turn it over to the other side, repeat the same process, use my 1 inch, turn it and stitch the pocket close. When I get to this other side, I will then close up the sides all the way down. So after closing up the sides, I'm going to come over to the crotch area. I'll merge the front and the back crotch together, and then go ahead to use 1 inch to close it up all the way down. I'll close it up all the way down using 1 inch. I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'll close up. So when I'm done with that, I'll insert my zipper and then I'll finish up the base of the pants. I'll show you guys the finished product of this pant. So after I closed up the side of the pants, this is what it looks like, and also the crotch area. So this is the pocket on the side of the pant. You can see how beautiful it looks already. And I also inserted the zipper to the back. So I have several videos where I showed you guys how to insert zipper to pant. And for the base, I folded in twice and stitched it all around for the neat finishing. So this is where we'll end this video for today, guys. I hope you found it useful and I hope you learned something new. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, share this video to your loved ones, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.